Right, Anna team. This morning I want to talk to you about the mindset of a hunter. And it sounds a little bit flowery, but that's essentially what it is. And you've heard me talk about the fact that we are predator hunters, because that's what we are. And often traps are our weapon of choice, but we're still hunting these animals with traps. And it's important to think like that and think about that. And so, what is the mindset of a hunter? Well, essentially there's some fundamental principles that feed into it, and front and centre of that is understanding the animal. And I've talked about putting the animal at the centre of the wheel, and that's what I'm talking about. So you need to know your target species intimately. And science is great. Science is at the base of everything I do as a predator hunter. It shows me trends, it helps me learn about species, and they make some incredible observations. But what I like to do is take science and then add hunt. It's that little bit of mongrel, it's that little bit of get even, and it's that little bit of persistence. So when I talk about adding hunt, what I'm talking about is what are the individuals doing in the population within the area that I'm working in. And so many things in your area will influence the individual's behaviour in your area. And so what do they look like? Well, what are the key things that influence animal behaviour? Obviously species is one. Topography is one. Where are those animals going to move? What's channeling them? How can you use that and your knowledge of how they move through the landscape to better place your traps? What about their seasons? When are the boys looking for the girls? When are the young silly ones that are also hungry leaving home and heading out into the big wide world and more likely to enter your traps? What are the food resources that are happening in your area? Here in Pukaha, we're in podocarp forest predominantly, with a little bit of beach. So we talk about beach mast years all the time, but the reality is at Pukaha, every second year is a mast year because there's so much seeding and fruiting going on in here. Podocarp forest is really, really productive. So what does that mean? It means that there's a higher and more constant supply of food for our rodents, which then will drive our mustelid numbers as well, because they're living off the back of those. So understand what's happening with your vegetation so you can better understand what's happening with your animals. And food availability is a huge player in your population abundance and also the trappability of the individuals within that population. So quite often I will target species in certain ways based on how hungry they are, if that makes sense, because the less hungry they are, the less likely they are going to want to interact with your trap using a food-based lure. So much of what these animals are doing out there in their back garden should be influencing the decisions you make as a predator hunter. Don't fall into the trap of one size fits all, and don't fall into the trap of doing the same thing month in, month out. If you move those goalposts, you will catch more of them. So for me, what's the key principle of the mindset of a successful predator hunter? It's being analytical. And being analytical means thinking about what you're doing, thinking about what works, what didn't, and how can I change that next time to do better. And it doesn't matter whether you flunked out of school or you've got a PhD. It's how you approach this. And the best hunters and predator hunters I know are the ones that are always thinking. They're curious people, they're inquisitive, and they want to test things and they want to know. So be that person, and you will find that over time you will learn more quickly and you will make better decisions.